Self-publishing is changing. No more gatekeepers. No more barriers. No one standing between you and your readers. This is the Self-Publishing Show. There's never been a better time to be a writer.
Hello and welcome to the Self-Publishing Show with me, James Blatch, joining you on a Friday. If you're listening live, we have a bit of spring in the air. I've just got back from Mallorca, which is this beautiful island, the Balearics, just south of Barcelona in the Mediterranean. And I'm seriously thinking about joining one of those house swapping websites because it's been so miserable here in the winter, and it does make everything better when there's a blue sky and a bit of warmth on your face. Even swam in the sea, which I've got to say, even the Mediterranean was quite cold this time of year, but fine once you're in. And gave me a couple of days off. I'm hellishly busy at the moment, I've got to be honest. It's quite difficult to switch off completely. And I'm probably in a place where I'm too busy because I didn't really get to properly relax. First of all, I did a bit of work every day, and second of all, didn't really stop thinking about it. And I think we need to do an episode soon, and I need to take some advice from somebody on learning to compartmentalize a bit so you can properly decompress when you're not working, rather than let the thoughts spill over and sort of spoil your waking hours and sometimes what should be your sleeping hours as well. Having said that, I enjoy the work I do, and we're making progress all over the place. What we're doing in Finchy is really exciting, even though it's very busy at the moment and there's a lot to think about. But that isn't always healthy and isn't always sustainable for the future. So this is me just thinking aloud, but I do need to find a way of being able to relax a bit more in the future. But lots of interesting conversations going on at the moment, and we are getting all the dots and crossed T's in place for the conference, which means I'm talking to people about subject areas for discussion, for panels, and I think I mentioned before that audiobooks are quite big at the moment. A lot of movers and shakers in that market, including some shakers. So people like 11 Labs and Sounded.com. Sounded.com are fairly new, but they are, I guess, a competitor to 11 Labs. Now, 11 Labs is a place where you can go and get a synthetic voice to voice your book. We know that ACX themselves, part of Amazon, have got a beta program. I think they announced this week that I've learned this week that 40,000 synthetically voiced audiobooks have appeared on Audible, on ACX, since that beta program has been launched. 40,000, think about that. And 11 Labs, you go off and you basically is a DIY system, subscription based, and you will use their tools to get your book voice. But Sounded.com is a more interesting model in some ways because they have their own code which will produce the voice, and some of it is based on real humans' voices with the cooperation of the human. So we know that there's some bad actors at the moment. We'll take voice samples from some of the Hollywood stars and have Tom Cruise, in inverted commas, voicing their commercial work without Tom's permission, which of course is although it can't be copyrighted, which is another issue, is at least ethically wrong and probably legally wrong as well. But what Sounded do is that they work in cooperation with the humans who do get a cut of sales. But how does it work for us as authors? It's interesting. You pay as little as, I think, it's like $99 to have your book done, but you are then tied into their distribution, which is a bit like Draft to Digital. They're a bit aggregated. They have their own platform. Sounded.com is a consumer-facing platform as well, but they also put it elsewhere. And obviously they take a cut and pay you a royalty percentage. And then there's a medium point, about $249, I think it is, where you're tied into that for a year, but then you get your work back and you can distribute it and take all the royalties yourself. And then there's a $1,000 model, I think, where you get to globally distribute your books straight away. But it has a kind of ethical system built into it, and also doesn't count as AI, I've been told by the founder, so that in America is copyrightable, so to avoid problems like that in the future. So Sounded.com definitely is an interesting entrant to the market, and this is becoming a crowded market. We've got some really big established players in it, and a lot of people sort of fighting for your attention to produce the audiobook versions of your books. I am fascinated with AI and what it can do, and machine learning and synthetic voices and stuff. I'm not sure if I'm going to use it. I'll let you know if I am going to use it. I'm definitely going to have another play to hear what they're like. Last time I played with 11 Labs, I felt it took quite a lot of work from me to rewrite some sentences to get the emphasis right, the keywords right, and also the pronunciation of some stuff when I write 1960s aviation stuff. So it's not surprising that they didn't, the AI, the computer, whatever it is, didn't know how to pronounce some of those words. And so I had to spell them phonetically, which obviously takes some time. But I did speak to Hugo at 11 Labs in London earlier this year, at London Book Fair. And he was telling me it's moved on a lot since I was playing with it. And it used to take 10 hours of your own voice for the machine to learn your own voice before it could be used, a synthetic version of you. He says now it's a couple of hours, or not even that, I think 15 minutes or something. So, and I've got recordings of my voice. You're listening to a recording of my voice now, so I could upload all of these. In fact, why don't I do that? And then I'll introduce a podcast episode in the future, or at least part of it will be done by an AI version of my voice, and you have to tell me which part of it was done. So we'll do that for next week. If you're watching on YouTube, it might be obvious. I'll have to do the lip syncing like they do in Hollywood. I'll see if I can do that for next week. And we'll give a prize out to somebody if they can tell me exactly where the robot took over from me. I'll make sure it's not the beginning or end. There's a clue. Okay, so anyway, I thought I'd just tell you some of the conversations I'm having at the moment, which are going to be impacting us in the future. Things are moving quickly in that field, as well as other fields as well. But today we are going to be talking about promotions, and promotions such as Free Booksy, Bargain Booksy, Hello Books, of course BookBub are the big player in that market, and these is a key way of getting new eyes onto your books, particularly effective for your first in series. So if you have a series of 10 books, promoting book 1 or 2 and getting that read and getting people into your series is a very good way, an efficient way of making good sales of your book. So for me, running Vinci Books, it's a sort of cycle through using the 5 free days you get in Kindle Unlimited and to promote your books, a very important part of it. But we are going to speak to Mike Hourigan from Written Word Media, who are the operators of a lot of those brands I talked about, including Hello Books. They're partners with us, but they do the operational side of it. Mike is a brilliant man who is very into how things work. I do apologise, by the way, if you can hear my golden retriever Enzo shouting at me from the other side of the door. I'll let him in after I've finished this recording. But Mike is a really good person to listen to help you plan your promotions, and in particular they're working hard on things called stacks, where you can take off the shelf a single stack of multiple promotions. So Red Feather Romance and Free Booksy, for instance, might go out on the same day or consecutive days to help you make the most of your free days. Okay, I need to go and open the door to let Enzo in. So let me hand over to Mike. This is our chat we had earlier this week, and I'll be back at the end of the interview.
This is the Self-Publishing Show. There's never been a better time to be a writer.
Okay, Mike Hourigan, welcome to the Self-Publishing Show. Lovely to have you here. We're colleagues, aren't we? We're colleagues.
We are, yes, on the Hello Books front.
We are, which is just one of the many brands that you're involved with. So you are Written Word Media. And it's funny, I think some people might not know, I mean, most people do, but some people might not know Written Word Media, despite the fact they use their services, because you have quite a few front-facing brands. You better tell us about them to start off with.
Absolutely. So yes, Written Word Media is kind of the blanket parent company, but we have a lot of what we call reader brands that are part of our portfolio. So if you've ever used Free Booksy or Bargain Booksy or Red Feather Romance to run email promos for one of your books or multiple of your books, those are email promo sites that we own and manage. And then we also on the back end run the Hello Books email promotions as well. So that's where James and I work together. Our team actually facilitates the operations behind Hello Books. But in a nutshell, Written Word Media, we are the marketing hub for indies. So we have quite a few like I mentioned, email promo brands that authors can promote their books on, but we also have lots of other marketing services like our Reader Reach product, where we will run your Facebook ads, Instagram ads, and Amazon ads for your book for you. If that's a pain point, if you don't enjoy running your own ads and doing all the media buying, our team can do that for you.
Who doesn't love that?
Well, that's the funny thing. So that's where James and I work together a lot, is on the reader ads for Hello Books. And we're both digital marketers and nerds when it comes to that. And we actually love doing that, but we're certainly part of the minority there.
Yeah, that's definitely the case. And you have you have links with some other organisations. So Fussy Librarian's another one that people will know and would have used, and you have a partnership with them.
We do. So we launched our Promo Stacks product last year, and really what we've done there is made it very simple for authors to book all of their email promotions in one place through written word media. So if you've used eReader IQ, eReader News Today, Fussy Librarian, Hello Books, in addition to FreeBooksy, you're going in between sites. And what we've done is we've brought a lot of these partners on, formerly competitors, right now partners, where you can use our Promo Stacks tool to purchase email promos across multiple days from our website, including with our promo partner brands. So you're not having to go back and forth between different tabs on your website and your Google Calendar and figuring out what availability is. You can just say what date you want. We'll tell you if all of the promotions are available, either on one specific date or across multiple dates, and then you can book them all, and it's quite time saving. It's been one of the most fun things to launch since I've been at Written Word.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's like a hub, isn't it? It's a hub for all these promo places in one place. And yeah, so you're mentioning the stacks a couple of times. We should explain what they are. And this is relatively new concept, but it's quickly become part of my process, both for Vinci Books and my own books, is I go to the stacks when I do a promo. So we should also say, I mean, most people know this, but just explain that if you're in Kindle Unlimited, you get 5 free promo days in your 90-day enrollment period, which you can use. You set your book to free for those days. If you're not in Kindle Unlimited, you can do a price match and have your book for free, or you can discount it yourself. And there are a few other discounts flying around. So really, it's what you do to back up those discounts. When your book goes to free or your book goes to 99 cents, whatever, how do you back that up with promotions? And that's what this is. This is getting your book during that promo period in front of as many readers as possible. So with Hello Books, we've built this I think, fairly fresh feeling group of readers, well into 6 figures now. FreeBooksy, you've been going a lot longer. You've got a much bigger number of people, but you can get your book on an email landing in front of those hungry readers and get as many downloads as possible. And the stacks is a way of doing both, for instance. So FreeBooksy and Hello Books at the same time with one cart operation at your place.
That's exactly right. And really, where I'll start kind of speaking with Promo Stacks, this is certainly something that, real expert author marketers have been doing for a bit of time. And it takes a lot of work to do it up until really this Promo Stacks product we launched. But essentially, the benefit of promo stacking is, historically, if you've run an email promo, it's kind of a one-day spike in your book downloads or sales on Amazon. And the Amazon algorithm, in terms of your category or genre ranking, realizes that people can do things that are kind of a flash in the pan. You can have like one big day, and then if Amazon sees that, okay, you went from 5,000 downloads in one day back down to, double-digit downloads the subsequent days, they're not going to give your ranking a boost. They're going to say it was a flash in the pan. I'm not really going to, put it up into the top of the category. With promo stacking, when you're running multiple promos across multiple days, it makes kind of a bell curve, right, in terms of your sales and downloads. And when Amazon or other retailers see that bell curve, they put a lot more emphasis on it in terms of your rank. And what does that mean? So if you're getting up there, you're top 50, top 10, even number one in your category, you're going to get halo sales, or halo downloads, what we call them, where you have readers who say, I like the steamy romance category, and they're browsing the top books in that category. If you get your book there, even if it's just for a day, a couple days, or, a week or two, which is amazing, you get this kind of long tail just exposure and boost to your downloads and sales. And so that is really the reason behind promo stacking and why it's beneficial for authors. What we do at Written Word is we do have 1 day promo stacks, but we also have 3 day and 5 day promo stacks. And just like James said, if you have your kind of Kindle free days with, 5 of them, I would recommend a 5 day promo stack where you're going to get multiple email promos. You can get Hello Books, Free Booksy, and then we also layer on our Facebook ad service where we'll run Facebook ads for your book in addition to those email promos for that 5 days to give you kind of a solid base of sales or downloads for your book while the email promos are really boosting you up each day. It's fascinating. This is the type of marketing stuff that I really love, and it's fun to put a product out there that just makes it so simple for authors. Because before, it's like I said, you're having to go across multiple sites. You're probably having to do the research initially to say, like, should I be doing promo stacking? What is it? Why is it beneficial? And we kind of have these pre-vetted packages based on the genre you write in, with really vetted and expertly chosen promos and marketing tools within a certain period of days. So it's neat.
Yeah, really, really cool. And it gets people doing, as you say, the very advanced marketers worked out the kind of best practice for using those 5 days. But this is an easy one-click way of being at that level and getting that bell curve, getting that recognition. I love the expression Halo sales as well, Halo downloads. It's like, I immediately thought of the Space Marine from the video game series, but I assume what you mean is you just get into that area where a lot of browsers are and likely to see your book.
That's exactly right. It's not dissimilar from say SEO, right? Where, the whole point of SEO is to do it well, where when someone searches for you on Google, you're going to be one of the top in the list. And the higher up in the list you are, the more clicks you're going to get, and hopefully the more newsletter signups or purchases you get on your website. So it's a similar premise to that, except it's on retailers. So anything you can do to boost yourself up there in your category is only going to be beneficial. In addition to, if you make it to the top of your category, that's a great accolade for authors to use, whether it's on their author website, right? Like even if you're there for a day, you can say like number one, mystery author on Amazon, right? That's neat.
Yeah. Number one in political assassinations, I think we got a couple of weeks ago with one of our books, which is a strange thing to say that you're good at.
You should put that as a bumper sticker on your car, James.
Yeah, definitely. It'd be very zeitgeist, I feel, this year in America, particularly, on all sides. Yeah. Let's talk about best practice then. So the 5 days, if you're in Kindle Unlimited, getting the 5 days. I mean, first of all, I personally think you should be using them. And personally, I'm a big fan of free, but there is a choice to be made there, isn't there? Because you can also run a slightly different type of promotion, the countdown deal, which you can count down and have it go down in price or go up in price. In fact, it's the best way of doing it, or stick at, say, 99 cents for those days. Do you have a view, Mike, and from what you see, the data in the background, of what practice is best?
So it really depends on kind of your goals. So free book promos, they're going to get the best results in terms of number of eyeballs on your book. So it's free. You're going to get a lot of downloads. It does lead to read through, which authors can be compensated on read through. Sorry about that.
Is that your dog?
It is. We have a yeah.
We love a dog.
We'll pick this up. He's a British lab. Actually, Winston.
It's a British lab,
and his name is Winston. For Winston Churchill.
Oh my goodness, I love Winston. Yes. He should be in the interview.
I know. Well, he's trying by barking. We actually have he'll stop here in a sec. My wife got me for Christmas last year. It's a painting of his face standing in front of Tim Downing with a cigar in his mouth.
Excellent. That sounds slightly scary at the same time as being wonderful. I can hear him barking in a British accent, which is great.
Yeah. I don't know what sort of expletives. Hey, bud, Winston, easy. Sorry about that.
That's okay. James. That's okay. So we were talking about the free versus 99, and obviously, as you say, you do get read through from free, but 99 you get some money.
Yes. So free, you get read through. It also leads to reviews. And before I move into talking about 99 cents, I will say, if you're doing free, I want to talk about front matter and back matter. So regardless of what sort of book marketing you're doing, you want to make sure that you're adequately using front matter and back matter in your book to drive readers to either your website, to a lead form page, to a reader magnet, so that you are collecting their email addresses. So some folks who might not be comfortable with putting their book as free and promoting it, one other benefit is you might get thousands, if not tens of thousands of readers to your book, who then you can drive a proportion of them to your website and get them on your email list. So it is eyeballs for free. It is adding readers to your newsletter list. It's getting reviews, and then it's also read through, especially read through subsequent titles if you have a series. So that's what I would say about free. And then 99 cents, or even you can promote books at $1.99 or $2.99 up to $4.99 on our other brands like Bargain Booksy and Red Feather Romance. These are ones if you're looking for more of an immediate return on investment for your book promos. So these are not going to get the volume, obviously, as a book that's free in terms of downloads, but you will get sales. And one thing I will say here, if you are looking to run a non-free promo and you have a series, I would highly recommend looking at one of our series promos on our sites. So what those do is, if you have a series and you have an Amazon series page, you can actually put your series in one of our emails that goes out, and it'll drive readers directly to your series page, which has a one click button to buy your entire series. So if you're looking for the best return on investment and you do have a series, I would highly recommend looking at our series promos. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself, but we're also looking at rolling out promo stacks for series, which is something we don't have quite yet.
And you say, and if you're doing 99 to consider a series stack, can you have your lead book as free and also have a series stack promo?
So a series stack. So we are looking for, you're saying for the future, right, James?
Yeah.
Like when we add the promo stacks for a series.
No, sorry, not the promo stacks. What I mean is to doing a series promotion. You said it works best if you're discounting book one, but could you have book one as free and do a series promotion?
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. First and series free. And those work very well.
Yeah, and I'm assuming Amazon would calculate the series price based on the current discount of book one. They do that. They must do that. I've never checked it, but I'm sure they do.
I think they do.
Yeah. To make that work. That's great. I mean, and also there are, there's those whale readers who aren't shy of paying $30 to buy a series of 10 books, knowing that they're gonna rip through them.
Totally. And the other thing I would say too, this is one of the fun parts of my job at Written Word Media is I get to interface with both authors and readers. And we do annual and quarterly surveys of authors and readers, but particularly in our most recent reader surveys we sent where we got, I think it was about 5,000 reader responses. It's very interesting. A lot of our readers say that what's important to them is they understand and appreciate indie authors and want to do what they can to support them. A lot of the time that's voting with your pocketbook or your wallet. But it's just fascinating that readers will say, I'm willing to, spend to support these authors because I know their art form and craft is very time consuming and also costs them a lot of money. So that's been really neat to see because it's not just readers who are only looking for free, right? If you can give them a compelling enough reason to support you and buy from you continually, they will. A lot of them will.
Yeah. Well, that definitely is the case. And, I run a lot of promos, a lot of free, nearly always free. Although we are going to experiment a bit with 99 soon. But I see that read through. So it's not just you only get readers after a free book and they're not going to do the rest of the series. They get hooked. It's one of the oldest tricks in commercial selling, right? Isn't it? That you discount, you lead loss with your loaf of bread in the supermarket, or you give away. I mean, the classic one is the drug dealer on the side of the street. Probably a slightly unhealthy comparison, but even they know first one free works.
Yep. That's exactly right. Get them hooked, right? Write good books, put out good products, get it in the hands of as many people as possible, and let your product, let your work, let your book do the talking and keep people engaged. Yeah. That's really the name of the game.
And getting hooked on billionaire romance or Cold War thrillers is better than getting hooked on crystal meth, just for the record.
Yeah. Agree.
In case anyone's wondering.
Better vice to have.
Yeah. Now, you are coming to London, Mike, which I'm very excited about. You're going to be speaking at the Self-Publishing Show live on the South Bank in June. What are you going to be talking about?
So I'm going to be talking about best practices for book marketing and email promos and discounting and promo stacking and really going into details there. I'll be touching on a lot of how book marketing has changed over the past couple of years too. You kind of said, James, some of the email promos and free book promos, that kind of practice has been around, and now there's a lot of new types of book marketing strategies out there. And I think it's incredibly exciting because authors now are able to develop their own kind of hybrid approach to how they want to sell their books and how they want to build their fandoms. And there's not a one track or one size fits all to book marketing. It's going to be different for different authors. It's going to be different for people who write in different genres. And at the end of the day, the most successful authors are going to be the ones who test and iterate kind of quickly on what strategies they're trying to market their books, and then develop the best kind of amalgamation and hybrid of these different channels and marketing tactics. You have Kickstarter, you have email list building, you have direct sales, then you have retailers and email promos, and some work better for some authors than others. But at the end of the day, I feel like the authors that are going to be the most successful, say over the next 5 years, are the ones that really find a good balance between these different channels and marketing tools.
Superb. We're looking forward to it. Are you going to have a chance to look around the UK, London, while you're here?
That's the plan. I'm very excited. My wife is actually going to be able to join me, and it'll be her first time in Europe, actually.
Wow. Who's looking after Winston?
So, yes. So our dog Winston, still to be determined, James. Okay. I have a feeling we'll have some family maybe come and keep Winston company while we're checking out Downing Street and all of that, and Tower of London and Imperial War Museum.
Yeah.
The Churchill War Rooms.
Yes, they're superb, the Churchill War Rooms. Well, if I get a chance to come along with you, I'll tag along, because you and I think have quite shared interests. In fact, your wife and my wife probably have a similar holiday experience of being taken to a few too many air museums that they would normally choose to go to, but my wife's very patient about it. She did say she's not going to go to a baseball game again with me. I've taken her to 3, and she said, that's it now, I'm done with baseball, but I will continue to go. But air museum she'll go to.
I don't blame her on that on baseball. But yes, even being an American, they can get quite boring. Depends how many beers you want to have.
I think we were unlucky. A couple of those dreaded one run games, which are not great, but
Yeah.
there you go. Look, it's always a pleasure talking to you. I love working with Written Word Media. I think I've said this to you guys before. I probably don't say enough. I think you're an incredibly professional organisation. I think you do a great job for authors, and I'm proud to be a part of the WWM family with Hello Books, and we're growing that organisation thanks to your help really well at the moment. So thank you, Mike. Thank you for being part of it, and I guess we look forward to seeing you in London.
I appreciate it, James. Thank you for having me on, and I am ecstatic to be there and be able to speak and talk to all the authors in London. It's something I've been looking forward to for months, and it's going to be a good time.
Superb.
This is the Self-Publishing Show. There's never been a better time to be a writer.
That was Mike Hourigan, a brilliant man who is one of the geniuses behind Written Word Media. And it couldn't be more fun and interesting and educational working with Mike. So hopefully you learnt a little bit about how the promotion system works over there at WWM and help you make the most of them in the future. Key part of our book promotion cycle. Okay, look, I need to go and give this boy some attention. That is it for this week. Don't forget next week, if I can get this done, here I am adding to my workload. If I can get this done, I'm going to train my voice, add a voice synthesizer, and try and slip some of it into next week's podcast. So we'll see if you can spot that. So another task for me. It goes onto my list. Right, that's it. Thank you very much. All that remains for me to say, it is a goodbye from me. It's a goodbye from me.
Get show notes, the podcast archive, and free resources to boost your writing career at selfpublishingshow.com. Join our thriving Facebook group at selfpublishingshow.com/Facebook. Support the show at patreon.com/selfpublishing show. And join us next week for more help and inspiration so that you can make your mark as a successful indie author. Publishing is changing, so get your words into the world and join the revolution with the Self-Publishing Show.